today's episode, we will see how giant companies are killing you with sugar. Sugar is actually 8 times more addictive than cocaine. You will say, seriously? Yes. There are several things you can get your buzz from, like smoking dry tobacco leaves, sap from opium, less distilled alcohol like beer or cider. I am no way promoting alcohol here. The real thing starts when you distill these things, or you can say more refine these things, and then you get things like vodka or gin, and that's when you start to get into real trouble. Morphine in 1810 was derived from opium. In America's Civil War, there were a lot of soldiers that were wounded, and by mid 1850s, it was used to treat the soldiers. And suddenly, there you have it, hundreds of thousands of soldiers addicted to morphine. In 1874, heroin was introduced as an alternative substitute for morphine, and it was marketed and told as less addictive. It was used in many medical treatments, and there later you can see it. Heroin became much more addictive than morphine. Even all around the world today, heroin is consumed on a much larger scale. Another example of refinement would be cocaine, which is made from the leaves of coca. Farmer in the Andes chew it just to get the energy boost, but it doesn't harm them. If you chew it for a much more longer period, at max you get a bad teeth. Now let's get back to the sugar. Studies in 2007 showed that rats were given a choice between sweetened solution of water and cocaine solution. All the rats chose to get the sweet water solution. Even the rats which were hooked to cocaine chose and later switched to sweet water solutions. They were working hard to get the sugary water, and there were also some panels which used to shock them, but they still didn't give up on the sweet water. Now let's get back to some of the examples that we actually use in our day-to-day lives. For example, Bonvita. It gives or it markets sugar as carbohydrates with sugar 85.2 grams and sugar as 37 per 100 grams. Before COVID, you can see the packaging as something like this. And after COVID, they started it marketing as an immune booster. I mean, after COVID, it's like, तुम किसी भी चीज को immune booster ले लो और चिपका दो, and people will just accept it. Second thing is Coke. It's literally given on the back behind, like it's 78% of the sugar. Next we go to ketchup and sauces. 41 grams of sugar per 100 grams. And one of my favorite biscuits. It gives 35 grams of sugar per 100 grams. Cadbury hot chocolate powder is not, like it gives chocolate or something in the real sense. It is 70 grams of sugar per 100 grams. The funny thing is, if you see on the corner behind there, it says no need to add sugar. I mean, why would you add sugar? It is already present, that is 70%. Next we have all sorts of examples like cornflakes, Cadbury. The most evil company of this is Nestle. It ran a false propaganda in Philippines and people bought it. Here's the video.
Low energy, matamlay, low focus ka, baka energy gap, yeah, 4 out of 5 kids have it.
I mean, what is energy gap? There is no such thing as energy gap. And you say, like, 4 out of 5 kids have it. How do you know? Without any research, these people marketed these things, and Philippine moms brought it on a large scale. People actually protested against Nutella when they found out it was only sugar and palm oil. These are the brain scans of a cocaine addict person and a person who is hooked to sugar. You can see that the cocaine has downregulated their dopamine levels, and the same goes for the person who consumes a lot of sugar too. This is their tolerance levels. And what would you say about the withdrawal symptoms? The person who wants to quit sugar, they report symptoms like lightheadedness, headaches, anxiety, mood swings, muscle ache, general fatigue, etc. If you actually get time, I would recommend to see two of the documentaries. First is Morgan Perlock's Super Size Me. In this documentary, he shows that how McDonald's and other companies hook you onto the sugar, or sometimes they can call it like high fructose corn syrup, which has same structure to the sugar. There is also another documentary by Australian filmmaker called as That Sugar Film, it in which the director goes on a diet of 60 days with high sugar with the same calorie intake which he used to. In 30 days, he gains by 8.4 kilograms of weight. And also, he develops a fatty liver disease. And when he leaves the diet behind, he faces a lot of withdrawal symptoms. Now remember, sugar is not only just marketed as glucose, sugar, or something like that. Marketing companies and food companies market it or show it in their nutrients with many different names. You just have to be observant about it. For example, like sucrose, dextrose, corn syrup, ethyl methyl, dehydrated cane juice, etc. The link is given in description for more information. There is also a link given in description about how giant companies like Domino's, McDonald's, KFC use sugar in their day-to-day items and how much sugar you consume in each of those items. I would say we should regulate and see that what we are eating in our day-to-day lives, what we're giving our kids. But all I can say is that we can't give up our life in today's situation, but we can regulate it and think critical about it. Sugar also has other implications like obesity, diabetes, liver issues, etc.
Doesn't happen with one meal, but it happens with 1,000. But that's what we have because now sugar is with every meal.
So at the end, I would just only say be alert and think critical.